Today, we delve into a family thriller titled Sweet Hell Home. The protagonists are a married couple, wealthy with one son and one daughter. The wife, Lisa, is strong-willed and likes to meticulously plan everything. Her husband, Nick, is not particularly capable, but with his father-in-law's assistance, he now runs a furniture company. However, due to Nick's weak character, the vice president often acts more like the true boss. One day, a young woman named Xiaomei applies for a sales position at Nick's company. Nick initially wasn't going to hire her, deeming her unprofessional, but the vice president suggested the company needed a pretty face to enhance its image, a point Nick found reasonable. It soon became clear that Nick had indeed hired the right person. On her very first day, Xiaomei closed a major deal. What delighted Nick even more was the warm embrace Xiaomei gave him. This fragrant, soft hug left Nick secretly thrilled. It's worth noting that Lisa's arrangement for intimacy was once a month, and Nick had long been yearning for more. Soon, Lisa became aware of Xiaomei's presence.
She must have a little harlot in her in a dress like that,
Seeing his wife's jealousy toward Xiaomei, Nick felt a strange sense of satisfaction, thinking, "Who told you to deny me all this time?" Of course, in front of his wife, Nick couldn't admit Xiaomei was attractive, he merely stated her performance was excellent. To be honest, Nick had the thoughts but not the courage. When it came to Xiaomei, he felt it was best to simply admire her from a distance. However, within a few days, the situation spiraled out of control. One day, while Nick was napping in his office, Xiaomei suddenly leaned into him, whispering that Lisa didn't deserve him. Nick hesitated, verbally protesting, "We can't do this," but his starved body couldn't resist the temptation, and he ultimately succumbed. From then on, he became brimming with energy, exercising and running, as Xiaomei's delicate affection made him feel like a true man. This continued for about a month. Until one day, Nick hosted a party for his employees at home, having specifically told Xiaomei not to come, yet she appeared anyway. Thus, Lisa and Xiaomei officially met. Watching them converse, Nick broke into a sweat, thinking how imprudent Xiaomei was. What shattered him further was when Xiaomei approached him, sensing no one was nearby, and delivered a devastating piece of news.
"I'm pregnant."
Xiaomei declared she was pregnant and intended to keep the baby. Nick was terrified, chastised her briefly, and then fled in panic. That evening, he discussed the matter with the vice president, Fat Brother, who believed Xiaomei merely wanted money and could be appeased with a payment. Upon returning home, it happened to be their designated night for intimacy. Lisa actively tried to engage Nick, but he, utterly vexed and already satisfied from his extramarital affair, rejected her. The next day, Nick offered Xiaomei his meager $13,000, but she found it insufficient, refused to take it, and vowed to have the baby, leading to an acrimonious parting. After Xiaomei returned home, 3 men questioned her about the money she had obtained. It turned out Xiaomei and these 3 thugs were working together, specifically targeting wealthy married men. Learning that Nick had only produced $13,000, the leader, Sang Biao, declared that if Xiaomei failed to secure more money, he would take matters into his own hands. Meanwhile, after consulting with Fatty, Nick felt that simply paying would not resolve the issue. Who could guarantee that the other party would stop after just one payment? After much deliberation, he ultimately decided to confess to his wife first. So, that evening, Nick mustered his courage and blurted out the truth.
Spit it out!
I've been having an affair at the store with Dusty, the sales girl.
Upon hearing this, Lisa remained remarkably calm, her expression seemingly saying, "Just as I expected." She asked Nick if he wanted a divorce. Nick emphatically stated that he absolutely did not want a divorce, and that he was willing to do anything for his family, only begging Lisa for forgiveness and help in getting rid of Xiaomei's harassment. Given Lisa's strong and proud character, she was unwilling to admit that she had been betrayed by her husband, so she categorized the incident as follows. A damned vixen destroying another's family, the vixen was entirely to blame. Furthermore, facing this immense humiliation, she decided to handle it in the most extreme way possible.
You have to kill her.
Nick paused, then asked, "You're joking, right?" The scene then shifted. Lisa frantically accused Nick, uttering all sorts of harsh words, such as, "Be a man, you coward, and you'd be nothing without my family's support." Just as Nick was being thoroughly berated, Xiaomei called. Xiaomei demanded $25,000 tomorrow, or she would tell Lisa. Upon hearing this, Lisa let out a cold laugh and slapped Nick. Nick then replied, "All right." After hanging up, Lisa said solemnly, "You cannot let this bitch take advantage of us." After speaking, she leaned her head on Nick's shoulder, as if seeking comfort and reliance from her husband. Nick found his wife to be both unfamiliar and terrifying. Soon, Nick and Xiaomei met at the office. Xiaomei stated that once she received the money this time, she guaranteed she would no longer bother him. This was true, as she intended to leave the gang. Nick said, "I'll give you the money later, let's have a drink first for a friendly farewell."
A toast.
Xiaomei laughed, "You rich people are so damn particular." Not wanting to spoil the mood, she took the glass and drank it all at once. Seeing Xiaomei drink the liquor, Nick's face grew frantic, and he began to apologize profusely. Xiaomei asked what was wrong. He said he actually didn't have a cent. Upon hearing this, Xiaomei cursed furiously, but as she ranted, she suddenly felt unwell and asked if she had been drugged. Nick fearfully explained that he hadn't wanted to drug her, but he had no choice, Lisa had forced him. Soon, Xiaomei lost consciousness. Then Lisa appeared and, together with Nick, brought Xiaomei back to the warehouse. Unexpectedly, Xiaomei was still alive. Nick was terrified, wondering what they should do now. Lisa was also somewhat startled, yet a smile remained on her face. She instructed Nick to take a hammer and kill Xiaomei. Nick dared not, handing the hammer to Lisa and saying, "I've killed someone for you once, this time, you do it yourself." Lisa replied, "Don't say it's for me, it's for us. Besides, you messed up, you have to kill again." Nick pondered for a moment. He suggested, "How about we drown her, or simply bury her alive?" Seeing her husband's reluctance, Lisa lost her temper, took the hammer, and decided to do it herself.
Open the trunk!
After killing Xiaomei, Lisa prepared to dismember the body. She placed the corpse on a table, put on a raincoat and gloves, protected the walls with a tarp, and then used a cutting machine to dismember it. Nick, hearing the sounds from the room, was nauseated and vomited. After a night of work, Lisa returned to the room with a blood-stained face and casually informed Nick that Xiaomei was not pregnant. 2 days later, on Monday, the police arrived at the company, stating that Xiaomei's car had been burned and she was missing. Although Nick was nervous, he did not reveal anything when questioned by the police. Upon returning home, he received a note left by Mad Biao, which indicated a time and place. Nick realized Xiaomei's accomplices were coming for him. Nick told Lisa about the situation. Lisa showed no fear at all, having already committed murder and dismemberment. She instructed Nick to attend the meeting. So, Nick arrived at the nightclub mentioned in the note. 3 thugs were waiting for him there. When questioned, Nick insisted that he had already given the money to Xiaomei and had no idea where she had gone. Seeing Nick's seemingly honest demeanor, the thugs assumed he wouldn't dare to lie. However, they did not let the honest man off easily, demanding Nick produce another 20,000 tomorrow, or his wife and child would suffer. After leaving the nightclub, Nick informed Lisa of the threats he had received. Lisa chuckled lightly, thinking that anyone who dared to mess with them deserved a harsh lesson. Under Lisa's direction, the couple dug up Xiaomei's head. After finding out the thug's address, they drove to their house, located in the wilderness, when no one was home. Indeed, Lisa was planning a frame-up. Nick was afraid to get out of the car, so after a few curses, Lisa decided to go in herself. Lisa entered the cabin and successfully placed the head in the refrigerator. Suddenly, someone returned. Nick attempted to call Lisa to warn her, but discovered her phone was in the car. Hearing the commotion, Lisa grabbed a small knife and hid. The newcomers were a man and a woman. Shortly after entering, the man with yellow hair went to the restroom. Lisa sought to seize this opportunity to leave. The woman saw Lisa and, assuming she had also been summoned by the yellow-haired man, showed no surprise. Just as the woman was questioning Lisa, the yellow-haired man emerged. The yellow-haired man recognized Lisa and sharply demanded to know what she was doing there. Unexpectedly, Lisa, without a word, attacked him directly, stabbing the yellow-haired man several times, then turned and killed the panic-stricken woman as well. Just as Nick mustered the courage to rescue them, he saw Lisa walk out, her face covered in blood. He felt both relieved and terrified. At this point, the yellow-haired man had not yet expired. He called to inform Sang Biao, then quietly awaited death. Soon after, Sang Biao and his henchmen returned, only to be surrounded by police shortly after entering. It went without saying that Lisa had called the police. The henchman was shot dead on the spot, while Sang Biao successfully escaped through a secret passage. The next day, the police found Nick and informed him that Xiaomei's body had been discovered, with 2 of the culprits dead and 1 having fled. The police assured him not to worry, stating they would apprehend the fugitive culprit as soon as possible. Just as Nick breathed a sigh of relief, the police suddenly asked, "Someone saw you talking to the culprit at the nightclub. What did you discuss?" Nick's mind raced, and he quietly explained, "Xiaomei and I had an affair, so they blackmailed us. Lisa doesn't know about this yet." Revealing a partial truth is often the most effective way to deceive. Consequently, upon hearing this, the police ceased to harbor any suspicions. Seeing that things had calmed down, Nick wanted to have a heart-to-heart with Lisa, hoping to understand why she had become so extreme. Nick asked, "Did your parents harm you when you were a child?" To his surprise, Lisa reacted violently, crying that her parents were the best in the world and forbidding Nick from speaking ill of them, or she would kill him.
But if you ever talk to me like that again, I will end you.
Nick was frightened, but it wasn't over yet. Lisa declared that she would find a time to deal with the neighboring father and son. It turned out that the neighbor's child developed quickly. Despite being the same age as Lisa's son, he was a head taller. Lisa could not accept her son losing to such a hormone child. Nick wondered what was wrong with being tall, and what "take care of it" even meant. Lisa did not reply. Nick was plunged into deep fear and unease, constantly telling himself he was overthinking things, and that Lisa didn't mean it that way. However, when he opened the refrigerator the next day and found his neighbor's dog dead inside, he finally became convinced that Lisa was now a cold-blooded psychopath. He went outside and saw adults and children playing piñata in the yard, a game where a candy-filled container is struck with a stick. The younger son swung for a long time, his movements soft and ineffective. Seeing this, Lisa buried her face in her hands in disappointment, her expression as if to say, "You're as useless as your father." She gestured for her daughter to take a turn. So the daughter took the stick and began to strike fiercely. The daughter did not disappoint Lisa, quickly smashing the candy container. Nick was stunned. The ferocity on his daughter's face and the force of her blows were exactly like Lisa's. She was truly her mother's daughter. Nick gravely suspected that if things continued this way, both children would likely become psychopaths in the future. At that moment, a voice echoed in Nick's mind, "Eliminate the psychopathic killer." Yes, this psycho must be eliminated, or the entire family will suffer. For the sake of his children, Nick could no longer tolerate it. He went to the kitchen and tampered with the ceiling light. Then he allowed gas to leak and fill the room. After setting everything up, he sent the children away and asked Lisa to go to the kitchen to get something for him. Lisa went. Upon entering, she habitually turned on the light, and the faulty light fixture sparked, igniting the gas in the kitchen. Thus, after an explosion, Lisa died in a tragic accident. Some time later, Nick and his 2 children began to live a peaceful life. Until one day, Sang Biao came looking for him. There was no visual, but from the gunshots and children's screams, it was clear that Nick had been killed, while the 2 children were unharmed. The film ends here.